All right, so here we go. We got some brand new updates straight from the dev team, new replies about the upcoming next major patch, which is known as patch 7, and a reply to this list right here. Some of the most wanted features from the community. We'll talk about what the dev team had to say about that one. We're also going to talk about this official image right here, because yes, if we zoom it in here, we got our assault dude here carrying, yes, a bolter. So a lot of people are wondering, hey, what is going on? Are they going to be adjusting weapon restrictions, weapons in the game? Actually, if we head on over to the most recent patch 6 notes, there is something that we kind of glossed over that is extremely important. We have got to talk about that today because it is absolutely critical for the next updates for this game. We're also going to be talking about, yes, this right here. And I know that this is going to most likely ruffle some feathers if it pans out to be true. And that is Battle Royale. And then, of course, something called Arms Race, which I'm more curious about the Arms Race. But this was apparently data mined in patch 5.1 files. So yeah, I have my own opinions about Battle Royale. I'm kind of conflicted here, but we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Plus, check it out. Some cosmetics were also data mined. This is very, very cool. We'll talk about what is potentially coming up here in the future. And we're going to go over your top comments later in the video. But you know what? Check this out right here. So yes, now I have a total of 4 champions that are 6-star powerhouses preparing for the challenges that await me in the Doom Tower. So you guys may know about my adventures in Raid Shadow Legends, as I've been tracking it all on my new partnered Raid YouTube channel. And by the way, special thank you to you all that have subscribed, given me support in the comments over there, and just dropped by. I really seriously appreciate it. But you know what? Raid has also been busy. They've added 6 new champions already into rotation, including but not limited to Arashi, who I made an entire video about. And then there's Esme, who has her own limited time fusion event going on right now. But let me tell you what, these new champions look absolutely amazing and offer up their own different unique abilities, so you can really create some new team synergies. Now, you can also obtain 2 amazing epic support champions today for free as a new user, or hey, you can even create a new raid free-to-play account. It's up to you. Now, to obtain Tagore and Ugo, some of the best epic support champions in the game, as well as a bunch of starter resources for free, click that link in the description below to download Raid for free, or scan the QR code on the screen. Check it out. All right, so I say we start out with patch 7, which is going to be the next major update to Space Marine 2. So check it out. This is on the official Discord. Here's the question. Technically, patch 7 should come this month still, right? And the answer is a firm no. So do not expect a major update dropping here in February, which is a bummer. I wish they would confirm if that's coming in March or not, but you're probably also wondering, hey, Robbie, what can we actually expect for this next major update? So check it out right here. I'm going to expand on this here in just a moment as well, but we can expect new PvE mission. That is 1 PvE mission, custom PvP lobbies, PvE prestige ranks, which I think most of you are going to be curious about that one. Could add a lot of replayability to the game, and then we will finally be getting that new weapon as well. So that has been 100% confirmed according to the most recent updates to the official roadmap, that is what we're going to be getting in the next update here going forward. But you know, it would be nice if we got like some sort of release window for that, but we know firmly that it is a no for February, which is kind of a bummer, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. Now, also we have this thread right here that was posted out, and it says Emperor's list of demanded requests for the Astartes and the Imperium. And that is the MK armor for PvE, MK7 helmet without Raven Wing emblem on forehead, red hood instead. Would you guys like to see that? The Flamer, Salamander Heavy Champion, Iron Hands Vanguard and Tactical, Raven Guard Blood Angels for the Assault, and then Raven Guard for the Sniper, and also the Assault Champion. And then we also have Lightning Claws, which is a huge request. That'd be very cool. Battle Axes, Halos for Bulwarks, and Space Wolves. Fur Cosmetics. Fur Cosmetics being one of the big ones that I would love to see. And I do think that that would be happening based on a lot of the data mining that has been happening around Space Marine 2. We're constantly seeing Space Wolves cosmetics being data mined all the time. But when it comes to things like new melee weapons, Lightning Claws, Battle Axes, they have said, you know, in the ideas section that would be cool, that they are considering, but it's a lot of work. And then we do have an official reply from the Focus Community Manager out here, Sister Hylia, who says, that's a list to Santa Claus. I think some of those things are planned And she did go on to emphasize in another post some. So, you know, she didn't go on to say everything on that list is absolutely confirmed. But yeah, some cool stuff could be heading to Space Marine 2. And I know a lot of you guys were disappointed with the Salamander update. And it is noted on this list that Salamander Heavy Champion would be pretty cool. Would you guys like to see that sort of thing? Sound off in the comments down below. Now, yeah, Space Wolves though, look at this. That would be really, really cool to see more like furs on this armor set. That would be badass. I would love to see that. But anyway, now let's talk about this official image that was also released alongside the most recent roadmap update. Check it out right here. And if we zoom in here, a lot of players notice this dude right here, our Assault, with a bolter, which is not normal. We already know we cannot do that right now in Space Marine 2. And by the way, I believe that is a PvP image, which is interesting as well. But you're probably wondering, hey, Robbie, you mentioned earlier in the video that there were some things hidden away, well, kind of hidden away in the patch notes. We definitely kind of glossed over it, but we got to go over what was in this when it comes to, yes, weapon restrictions and weapon adjustments, which is going to be happening. If we find this section right here, class perk updates. Now, of course, this was for the most recent patch, the previous patch, but this is the part that got me interested. It said, with the next patch, we will be focusing on weapon perks and weapon class restrictions. That right there is huge. So I'm not going to speculate too much on what that could mean. Could they be loosening weapon class restrictions in the future? It could be possible. This image right here, of course, could be a potential tease to that, which I think that's what we're seeing right now. But it seems like, yes, they might be messing around with weapon class restrictions. Ultimately, what would you guys like to see for that? You know, if they're going to actually open this up, it can add so much to the game. But again, one of the biggest problems beyond weapon class restrictions is the restrictions of having two classes not being able to play simultaneously in operation. I just think that is one of the biggest hurdles they have right now. And I'm hoping that this is going to be like the first step to perhaps adding subclasses. But anyway, that's me speculating. It'd be very, very cool if they did that. Now, also, they did make some comments in another blog post as to what we can expect from the next patch as well. And they did talk about, yes, the annoying spore mine spawn rate, and that is confirmed to be a bug at this point. It didn't make it into that hot fix, but they did say that they are working on that, and it is not intentional. So if the spore mines are still making you lose your mind right now and you're just absolutely just frustrated with it, that will be updated and fixed in time. No ETA on that though, but crossing my fingers, you know, that a lot of this stuff happens in March. We know again that it's not going to be February, but anyways, let's go ahead and talk about that subject that might ruffle some of your feathers. And yes, that is this discovery right here. Battle Royale and Arms Race discovered in patch 5.1 files. And you can clearly see that there's some folders here with Arms Race, Battle Royale. So I am conflicted about this one. I have said time and time again, focus on the strengths of Space Marine 2. I always feel that way whenever any game releases, really. If the strengths are with PvE, double down in that area. Don't go all over the place, because then you kind of lose your audience. You can lose your audience because of that, and you can have updates that just are not interesting and updates that are for like a fraction of your total audience. So when it comes to Battle Royale, it might give renewed interest, you know, from people looking into Space Marine 2. It might develop an entirely new audience. Again, this might be something that they put in the game files just to test the reaction of the community as well. So now it is time for you guys to absolutely react and say if you want Battle Royale or not. What is interesting is I have seen time and time again comments that you guys would rather see Warhammer Battlefront. So something based around like Star Wars Battlefront with the big battles, perhaps like a conquest style mode. That would be really, really cool to see when it comes to PvP. But then again, you know, right now the PvP audience is the smallest audience right now in Space Marine 2. And the largest audience, what everyone is focusing in on, is definitely, of course, PvE. So I think they should double down on Horde mode, Operations mode, getting stuff from the campaign into Operations mode. You know, there's some really, really cool levels that we're missing out on from the campaign that they can really implement in here. That would be absolutely badass. But it's going to ultimately be up to the dev team on what they want to do. But I just hope they don't get stretched too thin. You know what I mean? They got Turok Origins that they're working on. And yeah, it just seems like that would be going all over the place. But and also you got to consider they have to open up like new servers for that sort of thing. I would think that they would want more than just like 6 to 8 players in a battle royale mode, unless this is a more intimate battle royale experience. That could actually be possible if they just want to do something smaller scale. But again, like that space, that PvP space, battle royale specifically, is so incredibly oversaturated and incredibly competitive. So to pull people off of that, you have to consider, would like a Call of Duty player really go to Space Marine 2 to play battle royale? Same thing with like Fortnite and so on and so forth. You have to consider that. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, we got to talk about this right here. This is really badass. We have what seems to be new chaos customization that will be making its way to Space Marine 2. Highly requested cosmetic feature for this game. Now, this was data mined, and then a modder actually applied it into the game, and it just looks absolutely badass. But you know, it's definitely in the game. This is not like BS. So I do think that we would be seeing some sort of perhaps significant cosmetic update regarding, of course, chaos customization, which would be very cool. A lot of you guys want to see that also in PvE specifically. So the big question is this going to be reserved for PvP perhaps? But now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It can end up right here in a future video. But yeah, check this out one more time. By the way, if you want to join me in my adventure with Raid Shadow Legends, be sure to click that link in the description below to download Raid for free, or the QR code on the screen, and you'll get 2 free epic support champions, Tagore and yes, Ugo, and also a bunch of free starting resources to give you the best start in Raid Shadow Legends. So join me in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's do this. All right, so I say we start out with this first top comment here, which is this one. Their spore mines will blot out the sun. Then we shall fight in the shade. No more nerfs, brothers. I think it's supposed to be nerfs. At least not for absolute. But yeah, you know, those spore mines, yeah, they're definitely beginning to blot out that sun. They're definitely a problem. I wish they would like do like an actual hot fix here in February for this issue. But again, I have my theories. I really do have my theories about why they're in the game, that they would be testing out the population of how many units they could have on screen at once for the horde mode. I'm just theorizing. They wouldn't say it, of course. They'd call it a bug, but you know, a temporary thing that they could test out and then boom, patch out. All right, so we also have this one right here. As a son of Sanguinius, this makes me very happy. Hell yes, 182 upvotes. Hopefully I pronounced that right, by the way. And we have Bulwark needs an iron halo decoration. A lot of people saying that, by the way. Tons of people saying that lately. Also, we have, I think that if you have a melee weapon in your hand, when you do for the Emperor mode, you should wave that weapon. That would be badass. I totally agree with that one. And everyone should be all at once be able to say for the Emperor as, you know, a unit, as a squad. And then we have, my problem with spore mines isn't the amount, it's the fact that they randomly spawn in out of nowhere, and sometimes literally just spawn out of thin air right in front of your face and explode, so that you can't do anything except for die. If they slowly floated in from outside the map and crept up on you, then it would be fine. So you guys aren't so bothered by the numbers. So, and then we have this one. Most of my deaths lately have been from my computer crapping itself, trying to process all of the particle effects from just that many spore mines from every direction. But yeah, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, it's actually messing around with some of your performance. Maybe you're on PC. I'm wondering if it's also messing around with the console performance of the game. Again, what a better way to test horde mode and how it might actually perform with large numbers before you actually release something. But hey, moving on. We have just let us drop items. I hate having to ping an item and you and your teammate run all the way to get it instead of just bringing it to them. Yeah, yep, totally agree. That is such a pain in the ass for sure. That'd be a cool system. They should just introduce that. Also, we have, I really hope they give us the ability to customize our AI teammates. It's honestly the feature I think we desperately need. The game encourages you to customize and even gives you a photo mode, but doesn't give you the same freedom for your AI teammates. It just seems so inconsistent, dear God, if I could speak, in vision. In fact, You could say that about Saber as a whole, their approach to the game, and the reason excuses for not doing certain things just doesn't add up. 303 upvotes. So a lot of you guys agree with that one. And it worries me, you know, that they're getting stretched too thin between all the projects that they're doing. I'm just going to say it. You know, they have a lot on their table now between Turok Origins, Space Marine 2, with what they're doing with the Horde mode, with all the little updates, you know, patches, everything going on at once. So we'll see how this pans out. I'm so curious to see how this team can handle managing 2 projects at once between Turok and Space Marine 2, especially once we get into year 2. So we'll see. I don't know if Saber plans on hiring. I know that they have commented that they always believe in not over-hiring over there and being very, very careful on how much they take on, how much they stress out their own dev team. We'll see what happens, but I'll definitely keep you guys in the know at what is going to be happening next with Space Marine 2. Also, you know, I'm going to leave it to you guys. I really, really want some comments. If you actually made it this far in the video, please don't hesitate to answer this question. What game would you love to see me cover in the future that is releasing in like 2025 in the future? Please sound off. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that one. One game that I am eyeballing is Monster Hunter Wild. That one was a lot of fun during the beta. Didn't really get to make any videos on that yet, but maybe I'll make some videos on that. We'll have to wait and see. And I did want to make more videos on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but for reasons I just didn't have the time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Space Marine 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smack that like button if you did, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.